This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has called on young Algerians living abroad in precarious and irregular situations to return home. 50 writers and 10 publishing houses representing various regions of the country are participating in the Amazigh Book Fair, organised at the Mustafa Natural Public Library in Constantine as part of the celebration for the Amazigh New Year 2976. And as Japan called for the phase-out implementation of the peace plan in the Gaza Strip, UNRWA has warned against the dangers of the new restrictions imposed by the Israeli occupying authorities on the registration of international organizations operative in the enclave. Hello and welcome to Radio Algeria International. I'm your host, Mariam Bershi. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has received the Speaker of the Council of the Nation, Mr. Azouz Nasri, who handed him a report on the meeting during which he received trade unions and representatives of the transport sector. The meeting was attended by the Chief of Staff to the President of the Republic, Mr. Boualem Boualem, and the Advisor to the President of the Republic in charge of political affairs and relations with young people, civil society and political parties, Mr. Mustafa Said. The President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has chaired a meeting of the Council of Ministers devoted to the examining of the progress achieved as part of digitalization, the roadmap for the agricultural sector for 2026, and the monitoring of the ploughing and sowing campaign for the 2025 to 2026 season. Mohamed Khater reports.
Regarding the progress of digitalization, the President of the Republic hailed the level achieved in the digitalization of information and data across all sectors, as well as the launch of data interconnection and analysis. President Tebboune stressed to all members of the government the need to train without delay technical teams within their respective departments to update the data in the national database on a daily basis so that it can be read accurately and reliably. On the roadmap for the agricultural sector for 2026, the President ordered the continued organization of the sector and its rehabilitation as a top priority with the objective of increasing the production rate per hectare. The President of the Republic also instructed the government to mobilize all resources and ensure that all the necessary conditions are set to increase cereal production capacity, given the will and determination to modernize this strategic sector to which the President of the Republic attaches extreme importance. He called for the revision of the agricultural policy law, including mechanisms for organizing and regulating agricultural production. President Tebboune instructed the Minister of Agriculture to find appropriate and urgent solutions to boost red and white meat production in order to meet the needs of the domestic market involving producers and livestock farmers. The President of the Republic reaffirmed the state's commitment to setting a legal framework of agricultural land to the benefit of stakeholders and those working in the field in order to achieve the highest level of production. Regarding the 2025-2026 ploughing and sowing campaign, President Tebboune set the extension of the cultivated agricultural area to 3 million hectares as a priority. He reaffirmed the urgent need to import agricultural equipment for harvesting, particularly for cereal crops, corn and sunflowers. Finally, the President of the Republic called on young Algerians living abroad in precarious and irregular conditions who had been deliberately misled by individuals who believed they could undermine the credibility of the state to return home. These young people are now far from their homeland, their families and friends, suffering from extreme poverty and misery and reduced to performing humiliating tasks, while some are being used against their country. Consequently, the Council of Ministers, meeting under the chairmanship of the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Minister of National Defense, and in full agreement with all the institutions of the Republic, has taken the decision to legalize the situation of these Algerian men and women on condition that they undertake not to re-offend. The procedures related to this decision will be implemented by the Algerian consulates. Those who have committed violent crimes, drug trafficking, arms trafficking, or anyone who has collaborated with foreign security services with the aim of harming their homeland, Algeria, are excluded from this measure.
The President of the Constitutional Court, Mrs. Leila Aslawi, has offered her warmest congratulations to the Algerian people on the occasion of the Amazigh New Year, Yenayir 2976. In her message, Mrs. Leila Aslawi extended her warmest congratulations and best wishes to all members, staff and employees of the Constitutional Court and to all Algerian men and women as a whole, praying that this year will be one of goodness and blessings with continued health and well-being, and wishing that our beloved nation will enjoy further progress and prosperity in full security and stability. The Speaker of the National People's Assembly, Mr. Brahim Boughali, has also extended his warmest congratulations and best wishes to the Algerian people on the occasion of the Amazigh New Year 2976. In a message posted on his official social media account, Mr. Boughali prayed to Allah Almighty for continued health, well-being and progress of the new victorious Algeria towards more achievements, prosperity, security and stability. He added that the celebration of the Amazigh New Year provides the Algerian people with an opportunity to reflect on the path of national development and motivates everyone to work together to strengthen national achievements and push the nation towards greater horizons and prosperity and progress. The Secretary-General of the High Commission for Amazigh Affairs, HCA, Silheshmi Hassad, has stated that the official festivities celebrating Yenayir constitute an asset for the national cultural heritage. During a press conference held in the southern province of Bni Abbas, Mr. Assad indicated that the organization of national festivities celebrating the Amazigh New Year 2976 in the new provinces, as it is currently the case in Bni Abbas and was the case last year in Timimun, aims to promote the cultural and social heritage in these provinces while also contributing to their development. In an interview granted to Channel 3 of the National Radio, Mr. Assad said the following.
Au commissariat à la Mazirité a pris en charge.
The High Commission for Amazigh Affairs has taken in charge the events concept, which means all the details, all the aspects of the program, the planning, but also the idea of involving the citizens, civil society, and of course the authorities of the Bni Abbas province. The choice is the choice of the President of the Republic, opting for a major event in a newly created province, created in 2020, namely Bni Abbas. Why? Because we have, thank God, this wealth of experience in organizing events and major cultural and scientific events all over the national territory. To give meaning to this mission, that is to say, to celebrate the national and official Yenayir festivities in a big and magnificent way.
Festivité nationale et officielle.
Mr. Assad also emphasized that it has become necessary to update the HCA's internal regulations in order to strengthen its role in promoting the Amazigh culture as a foundation for national identity and to enable it to have a greater presence throughout the country, particularly through the opening of local branches in different regions. For the HCA Secretary-General, updating these internal regulations aims to revitalize the activities of the HCA's educational and scientific committee, as well as to appoint new members based on criteria of scientific expertise and knowledge of the linguistic variations of the Amazigh language. Regarding the HCA's program for activities or of activities for 2026, he announced the upcoming organization of a meeting on the Amazigh culture within the structures of the justice sector in collaboration with the relevant ministry. He also mentioned the organization of a congress dedicated to memory and patriotic song to be held next August on the occasion of the 17th anniversary of the Sumam Congress in coordination with the Ministry of War Veterans and Right Holders. 50 writers and 10 publishing houses representing various regions of the country are participating in the Amazigh Book Fair organized at the Mustafa Natur Public Library in Constantine as part of the celebration for the Amazigh New Year 2976. The library's director, Radia Lucif, emphasized the importance of the event, which began on Saturday in highlighting the literary works that address diverse topics. Alongside this cultural event, which will continue until January 14th, an exhibition of Amazigh arts and traditional artifacts was opened at the same library, at the initiatives of the Noor Association for the Promotion of Youth Activities. The program, organized by the library, also includes poetry readings and artistic and media workshops designed to young people covering various fields such as drawing, storytelling, Amazigh culture and language. And moving to the situation to the Middle East, as Japan called for the phase-out of implementation of the peace plan in the Gaza Strip, UNRWA warned against the dangers of the new restrictions imposed by the Israeli occupying authorities on the registration of international organizations operating in the enclave. Mohamed Khatel reports.
UNRWA's senior communication manager, Jonathan Fowler, stressed that the Gaza Strip was in need of an increased humanitarian aid and not further restrictions. In this connection, he stated that the situation in the Palestinian territory remained disastrous despite the ceasefire agreement and continued to deteriorate on account of the winter storms and the propagation of diseases. The UNRWA official said that the UN agency had continued to provide support since October, but such a support could not remedy the damage in the long run. He pointed out that the restrictions were further complicating the humanitarian operations that must be facilitated by the Israeli occupying authorities as provided for by the international law. In the meantime, Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Mustafa stressed the necessity to give a fresh impulse to the international efforts to make the peace plan move forward and achieve the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. During a meeting held in Ramallah with the Japanese foreign minister, he evoked the humanitarian situation in Gaza that resulted in heavy losses and the destruction of the territory's infrastructure, insisting on the importance of achieving Gaza's reconstruction, which is estimated at $70 billion. In this respect, the visiting Japanese official said that it was important to implement in a sustained manner the peace to improve the situation in the Palestinian territories, notably in Gaza. He urged the Israeli occupying authorities to take adequate measures to protect the civilian population and guarantee the access to humanitarian aid as proposed by the international and non-governmental organizations and other actors. This came as the Israeli army pursued its airstrikes against the Gaza Strip, killing at least 3 people in the southern town of Khan Yunis. According to the news agency Wafa, 2 other Palestinians were wounded during an incursion carried out by the Israeli forces into the southern area of Hebron in the West Bank.
And with this last piece of news, we conclude today's News Bulletin edition. Thank you for joining us on Radio Algeria International, and happy Amazigh New Year.
Hello and welcome on Radio Algeria International on the occasion of the celebration of the Amazigh New Year, Yenayer, corresponding to January 12th. We have with us as a guest the journalist Mahfoud Karkar to tell us about the celebration of Yenayer in the province of Ghardaya. Hello, Mahfoud, and welcome on Radio Algeria International.
Hello, my colleague Asian. Thank you for receiving me in Radio Algeria International.
Thanks to you. So, what does Yenayer represent to the people of Ghardaya?
I think as are part of the Amazigh people in the whole Algeria, Ghardaya is part of these citizens, the Amazigh citizens, and we have our way to celebrate the new year of Amazigh year or Yenayer or Yenar as people say. I think that Yenar is the beginning of the new agrarian year, and especially peasants or agriculture in Ghardaya hope for the new year. So for this reason they prepare several things. They prepare many celebrations, many festivities in order to celebrate this new year of Amazigh or the agrarian agenda.
How do they celebrate it?
They celebrate it by first, I think that the family meeting is the first, is in the top or on the top of celebrations, where the family meet. The first they start by reciting some Quran, and then they make a whole dinner together where the father, mother and the whole descendants meet in the same house. They celebrate this new year. I think that tea is part of the celebrities, and the main dish in this celebration during dinner is erfis. This erfis is prepared by grinding the crepe. We prepare the crepe and then we grind it and we mix it with a sauce of date. I think that date is very delicious. I think that the whole plate or the whole dish will be so delicious, and it will be decorated with some cumin and the eggs. We boil the eggs and we put it on the top of this the whole dish as a menu. I think some people prefer to have this dish with tea when they are drinking tea. While for dinner we have a special couscous. We prepare it with sauce. This sauce is mixed with date. I think that it's important to have as a meaning to have a very delicious, a very sweet dish in order to receive a new agrarian year, especially for the peasants or farmers.
Yes, our feast is the dessert and couscous is the main dish.
Yes, with meat, of course. We prepare it with camel meat.
Yeah.
It is a specialty of Sahara in Algeria.
That must be delicious, Mahfoud.
Of course, and you are invited to have it with us.
Thank you so much. I'd love to come.
Yes.
So, are there official festivals held on the occasion every year?
There are some official festivities. I think that last year there were some celebrities where the official authorities they received some guests from Algiers, from the Ministry of Culture. They came to Gardaia in order to see how people celebrate these festivities of Yennar. There are some singers, some poets. They make some poems in Mozabit language with some plays. So there were official festivities. From their part, some associations make their own festivities. Always with singing, with making plays, with some exhibitions. Mm-hmm. Some exhibitions where they expose carpets making. They exhibit also some woolen strips. There are some things where people or men wear these special things. They exhibit some associations in order to sell their products, their crafts. Their crafts, and some other they make it just to show for people in order to know what we have as traditions, as heritage in Gardaia.
And Gardaia's carpets are very popular.
They are popular, and we have every year. Last year we didn't have this carpets fair, but this year, inshallah. I think that the authorities in Gardaia are willing to organize this festival. Every spring we receive guests, we receive even people from all around the world in order to see the carpet fair in Gardaia.
Thank you very much, Mahfoud Karkar.
You're welcome, and I hope that happy new Yennar for everybody in Gardaia, every people of Gardaia.
Thank you.
Gardaia and Algeria, the whole Algeria for the Amazigh and the whole Algerian also.
Welcome to your weekly program, Destination Algeria. I'm Jamal Samani. There are a number of great destinations in Algeria just waiting to be discovered. A curious mixture of cultures and influences. Algeria has something interesting to see in just about every city. The country is also the first largest on the African continent, so you can be sure that there are plenty of towns and cities to visit. Let's visit Algeria's fascinating destinations, you and I together. Situated about 500 kilometers south of the city of Algiers in the northern Sahara, the Mzab Valley of central Algeria is home to the Berber ethnic group known as the Mozabits. living in 5 oasis towns in an area that is considered to be one of the hottest in the world. The Muzabids are a thriving community with strong family ties. Of the 5 oases that are home to the Muzabids, Ghardaia is the largest and serves as the capital city of Ghardaia province. The other oases are Bni Yaskin, Melika, Al-Ataf and Bunura. Although most of the Muzabids read and write Arabic, they speak the Zenata dialect of the Berber language, for which there is no written form. The majority of the Muzabids are Ibadi Muslims. Fleeing from persecution centuries ago, the Muzabids eventually settled in the Mzab Valley in the early 11th century, where they established settlements and remained virtually undisturbed until the French occupation of the area. Despite changes in the country over the years, Muzabids continue to peacefully resist interference in the affairs of their community and strive to preserve their unique religious and cultural identity. French engineers laid out an irrigation system that made the oases more fertile, as well as using Beni Yaskin as a depot for the import and marketing of European merchandise. Many Muzabids are still involved in the importing business, with a significant number running their own shops and trading stores in towns around the Sahara Desert. The Muzabids have a reputation of being honest businessmen. They also continue to be productive farmers in the Mzab Valley, supplying the fresh produce needs for their own communities and for marketing elsewhere. The beautiful Mzab Valley of Algeria was given UNESCO World Heritage Site status in 1982 as an amazing example of a traditional human habitat that has been adequate to the environment. This is confirmation that all the values in the rest of the world are constantly changing. The Muzabids have retained their identity intact throughout the centuries. The 5 fortified settlements of the Mzab Valley in Algeria, Ghardaia, Bunura, Al-Ataf, Melika and Bni Yaskin are valued both locally and internationally for their cultural and historical significance. Referred to locally as Qsur, the 5 walled villages are strategically located on rocky outcrops, allowing a view of the surrounding valley, and are occupied primarily by followers of the Ibadi from Islam. Dating back to the 11th century, these villages of the Mzab Valley are notable for having preserved their original culture and cohesion between the communities throughout the years, virtually untouched by the outside world. Surrounded by palm groves, the whitewashed buildings are designed to provide protection from the Syrian desert heat. Each of the 5 settlements is centered on a mosque, with a minaret standing above the surrounding buildings, serving as a watchtower. Each mosque is designed as a fortress within the fortress-type setting of the Qsur and includes provisions necessary to prevail as a stronghold in the event of a siege. Houses are arranged around the mosque in concentric circles, spreading out to the ramparts of the Qsur. In the summer months, the communities moved to the surrounding palm groves, with individual homes being fortified and watchtowers providing protection. The description of the Mzab Valley by the UNESCO World Heritage Committee notes that the primary reason for the Ibadis settling the valley as a place to settle was that its geographical features offered the community the opportunity to preserve its cultural identity at the expense of being isolated from the outside world.
The ancient Berber culture is extraordinarily rich and diverse, with a variety of musical styles. These range from bagpipes to pentatonic, all combined with African rhythms and a very important stock of authentic oral literature. These traditions have been kept alive by small bands of musicians who travel from village to village, as they have for centuries to entertain at weddings and other social occasions with their songs, tales, and poetry. In Kabyle villages, singers were accompanied by the bandir or drum and tabl or tambourine, laying down a strong rhythm, as well as a jawaq or flute. Late Ali Kanouni, whose stage name was Sami El Jazairi, an undisputed Algerian traditional and modern singer. He was born in the month of September in 1945 in Ait Bouihia, Tizi Ouzou, eastern Algiers. He had the most beautiful voice during that time.
يا بنات الجزائر يا بنات الجزائر يا بنات الجزائر يلي خليتوا فكري حي يا بنات الجزائر يلي خليتوا فكري حي.
He has sang in Arabic, Berber, and French. At an early age, when he was at school, he showed an ability to sing in many languages and in all musical styles. In fact, he performed